Hi beauties, welcome back, or welcome if it's your first time here. Happy to have you. I am doing a makeup inventory today. I have been seeing these videos all over my timeline and honestly I've been loving them. There's not a lot of beauty YouTube content that I don't like, but I have been so into these videos. I think that it is such a nice way to just kind of like pump the brakes for a minute and really take a look and see like all of the things that you have accumulated this year, all of the things that have gone out of your collection. You know, just take stock, take inventory of what you have, just sort of like a reset for the new year. See where you might want to focus, you know, using products up, where you might want to add to your collection. I thought I just have had so much fun watching them, and I love seeing everybody's collection is so different. Everybody's collection is curated so differently. So I really wanted to do one. I know I have mentioned multiple times throughout this year that I really need to do just this, like to hit pause and see what I actually have in my collection. Now, I really wish that I would have done this like at the beginning of this year, because 2020, my makeup collection changed so much. Like it probably changed the most that it ever has in all of the years that I have been wearing and doing makeup. So that's kind of a bummer. I wish I had numbers to compare, but I don't. We're starting from here. This is not in any way. Okay, sorry. Ooh, I had to get my hair up. It is hot under these lights. I was just saying, the purpose of this video is not to feel shame for anything. I don't feel ashamed of my makeup collection. I never have. I know that it is more makeup than what anybody needs, but I'm passionate about it. Not really passionate about a whole lot of other things. Like, this is what I love. Just is what it is. It's what I enjoy spending my money on. And you know what? We're not here, I'm not here to judge anybody for what they did in 2020, okay? I mean, we all thought we were gonna die this year, so whatever. Do you. I hope you did something that made you happy. But let's just get into it. I'll kind of explain as we go through like how I classified certain things. I did not include like makeup tools. I did not count my brushes because those are obscene. I have, I think, about 7 canisters full of brushes. I'm just not ready to go there yet. I'm not ready to declutter those. I'm not ready to be held accountable for how many brushes I have. Like, if you knew how infrequently I wash my makeup brushes, first of all, you would be utterly disgusted with me. Second of all, you might understand why I have so many. Like, washing makeup brushes is the absolute worst part of doing makeup, of liking makeup, of owning makeup. It's terrible. It's fucking awful. If I could pay somebody to come to my house and wash my brushes every week or however often they're supposed to be washed, I swear to God I would, because I hate it. I hate it so much. So we're leaving my brushes alone, and I did not include like sponges either. I don't really have that many makeup sponges. They're not something that I really am even all that crazy about as part of my makeup routine. Like, I know I have found ones that I like, so I'm not like actively seeking out other ones to try. So those things I did not include. I'm gonna scoot over just a little bit. I will try to like insert pictures. Well, I will insert pictures of the different parts of my collection. I'll take pictures as we're going. So let's just start from the base. Okay, starting out 2020, I have 10 makeup primers. 10. That to me is like, it's a lot, but I'm okay with that number. And you know what? let me just, I know I'm all over the place, I'm sorry, but I have a lot of thoughts and a lot of feelings about my makeup collection. So let me just say that while my makeup collection is large and it might seem excessive to some people, this year, really, I have gotten to the point where I love everything that's in my collection. I really do. I'm no longer at the point where when I first started like watching YouTube and really getting into, I mean, I've been into makeup my whole life, but really getting more and more into it, there was a point where I was just buying stuff like to have it. I would buy just to have every color of it, like those, you remember the like the L'Oreal Infallible shadows, the little, came individually, or like the Maybelline, oh, I'm gonna remember the exact name of them, but they were in the glass jar. They were like the little putty eyeshadows. Anyway, there was a point where I bought every single one of those. I had containers full of those, like just to have every color, which is so stupid. Like for me, not if you do that, great. For me and like my collection, that is so stupid. Like I don't need that. I'm no longer at the point where I'm doing that. So I love everything that I have in my collection. Anyway, okay, I really digressed there. So I have 10 primers that I really enjoy. I enjoy all of them. I never really used to be into primer much, but I feel like I've reached a point where I know what I like. I know what I like as far as primer goes. So I don't foresee this number changing too much. I would imagine I will probably actually run through some of my primers. So it may get smaller, it may stay the same. I know a lot of the primers that I have, I will probably repurchase when I finish them. So I don't anticipate this number changing that much. I am fine with 10 primers. Foundations. I have 16 foundations, and that's a lot. That's a lot. This is a number that I anticipate will be lower by the end of this year. Again, I have really found what I like in a foundation this year. I have tried a lot. So yeah, and I know that I have a few in my collection just as I'm thinking about it that I'm absolutely ready to get rid of. Like I'll probably do another makeup declutter in the spring sometime, like a spring cleaning type thing. And I just know that there will be a few that I will be getting rid of. So I definitely anticipate this number again, either going down or remaining about the same. I love most of the foundations that I have. I've found what I like, so I don't anticipate trying a bunch more this year. Foundation is something that doesn't really interest me all that much in my makeup routine. Like I like what I like, and I'm not super interested in, you know, trying a bunch of different high-end foundations and like just for the sake of doing so, just for the sake of like finding a high-end foundation that I like. That's not something I'm interested in doing, not something I want to do. So whatever, we're sitting at 16. I'm okay with that for now. Setting sprays. Setting sprays, I only have 3. Not a big setting spray person. I like the few that I have. They're all, well, 2 of them are dewy. The L'Oreal and the NYX are dewy. Those are probably my 2 favorite. I like the Wet n Wild one I have. It's like the natural finish one, but I'm probably gonna get rid of it soon because it reaches a point where like when you get to a certain level of product in there, the spritzer just gets really weird. Like it doesn't spray as well as it does when the bottle's full, and I actually end up with like big spots of it. So I'm probably gonna get rid of that soon, and then I'll be down to 2 again. it's just not a part of my makeup routine that I get super excited about. I like the two that I have. I'll probably repurchase the L'Oreal one. So I would anticipate that number being probably lower, if not the same. Okay, moving along. Powders. So powders is actually an area of my collection that grew a lot this year. I used to only have 2 powders. I still, well, no, I have one of those 2 powders still. If you've watched my videos, you know I finally finished my Coty Airspun powder that I had had for years. I finally finished that. I still have one of my number 7 powders that I've had forever, but I actually added quite a few powders to my collection this year. I am the type of person who I don't use like an all over setting powder. I never set my entire face. It's just not something I've ever been in the habit of doing with my makeup. Nothing, you know, nothing wrong with it. I just don't do it. I use powders just for under my eyes. And I really have been on the hunt for good powders this year, so I've added quite a few. I promise my toddler rarely wants anything to do with me unless I'm doing this. And then he's all over me. But anyway, I was just saying powders, I have added quite a few to my collection. Again, I like all of the powders that I have. I'm not on the hunt for any new. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I have 7. So I went from 2 to 7. That's really the only number that I know from the start of this year because I know I only had 2 powders. But anyway, I went from 2 to 7. I would imagine that there will be, powders take so long to get through, especially if you're like me and you really are only using them for your under eye. They take so long to get through. So I don't know that this number will change. Maybe it'll be 1 or 2 less, but I don't anticipate buying a lot more. Like I really, I think I have found ones that I really like and I'm gonna stick with. Concealers. Concealer is not a part of my makeup routine that I love. I mean, I don't have a lot of issues with my under eyes. I just don't. So I don't really have a lot of concealer. I only have 2 right now. So that's that. I love both of the ones that I have. I will probably repurchase, well, I know I'll repurchase at least the Neutrogena. I don't know about the Fit Me, but the Neutrogena will get repurchased. The only other concealer that's even like on my radar to try is the Pat McGrath concealer. I have seen that in so many people's like end of year favorites. So that's the only one that I'm even like interested in trying right now, but that's it. 3 concealers. Okay, now we're moving into the higher numbers. So judgment-free zone, okay? You do you. I would not, I hate even having to say stuff like this, but I just want you to know that I would not own all this makeup if it meant my family was in like financial ruin or financial peril, okay? We have 4 children, we have a mortgage, we have car payments, like we, you know, like everybody else, we have bills. And I wouldn't have this stuff if it wasn't, I mean, if it meant that we were gonna be out on the street, you know, like, I just want to say that I'm not the best with money. Like, I'm definitely not about to be anybody's financial advisor anytime soon, but I'm also not that irresponsible. Okay, so with that being said, let's talk about eyeshadow palettes. Oh my God, it's a lot. And I think probably 99% of the eyeshadow palettes that I have were bought this year. were bought in 2020. So let's just do it. I have 46 eyeshadow palettes. 46, and 2 on the way. So if you want to include those, I have 48 eyeshadow palettes, and I know just off the top of my head, I can think of like 2 new ones that I bought this year that I decluttered already to my sister-in-law. I'm the type of person who, like, I don't really form like connections with my makeup. I'm not like sentimental about a lot of stuff. Like, if I buy something and I don't like it, I don't like the way it works for me, I know I'm not going to get use out of it, like, I'm gonna give it away. I don't have a problem with that. My sister-in-law loves when I gift makeup. I have 2 teenage daughters who like playing in makeup. They're not really concerned about like the best formula and stuff like that. So I have people that I can give stuff to. Anyway, I have 48 eyeshadow palettes. And I'm not ashamed. I don't care. I'm not going to make some lofty goal for myself and say like, I'm not buying any more eyeshadow palettes this year, because I would be a liar. I love eyeshadow palettes. I mean, I think that what I might try to do is, oh, who is it? There's somebody on here that I watch, and I feel so bad for not remembering who it is. They try to limit themselves to 1 eyeshadow palette a month. So really like waiting it out, seeing, you know, which palette is really like your speed, your style, the color story that you like, the formula you like. I mean, there's so many releases every month from major brands, indie brands. Like, there's just so much that goes on in the beauty community. I think that might be something that I try to do. I have so much already. There's not a lot that I really need, but I also know that I'm going to end up buying more. Like, I just know it, and I'm not going to give myself any sort of like strict restrictions in this category. I'm just not gonna do it. So, and again, like I said, I feel like a springtime declutter coming on, so who knows how many palettes I'll end up getting rid of then, but that's what it is for now. 48 palettes. Oh, and then singles. I got rid of so many singles. Remember, I was just talking about the L'Oreal ones, the Maybelline ones. I used to have a full, like, plastic container full of the ColourPop Super Shock shadows. And when I downsized my makeup collection earlier this year, I got rid of all that shit. So I don't have too many singles left in my collection. I have 10. That's about it. I've got, most of those are the Raw Beauty Christie. I have 4 of those. I've got a Charlotte Tilbury. I have some Almay, but that's it. I have 10 singles. I don't feel bad about that. Whatever. I'm not making any predictions as to where these numbers are gonna go. I would imagine my singles, I don't know. I'm not even gonna make a prediction, okay? Eyeshadow is the wild card. I don't really care what direction eyeshadow goes, okay? Bronzers. Actually, let's start with face palettes. So face palettes, I classified, okay, sorry. Face palettes, I was just saying, I have some face palettes that are all blushes. I have some that are blushes plus highlighters. I have one that's a bronzer plus a highlighter, a blush. I mean, I just put all of those together, okay? I didn't want to try and like remember and separate, like, oh, I'm gonna count this one as one bronzer and one highlighter, and I just didn't want to do that. It's too much. It was too convoluted. So everything that has 2 or more like face products, you know, blushes, bronzers, highlighters, that's a face palette. So that's how I'm classifying it. I have 8. That's kind of a lot. That's kind of a lot, especially considering how infrequently I reach for my face palettes. But again, as I'm thinking of them, I can think of a couple that I will probably most definitely end up getting rid of when I do my declutter. So again, I don't know where this number is going to go. Might go down, might stay consistent. I can't think of any face palettes off the top of my head that I'm like super interested in right now that I want to try. So I like the ones that I have. I really do. So that's that. I have 8, and who knows? Bronzers. I have 12 bronzers, and this number actually surprised me. I thought I would have more than this. I really feel like I added a lot of bronzers to my collection this year, but I have 12. Now I did not include like my multiples of things. So like if I have a backup, like I have my Fenty Cheeks Out cream bronzer, but I have a backup of it too. So I just counted that as one. I didn't count those as 2 separate products because technically it's the same thing. I don't know if that's cheating. I don't know if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. But anyway, so I have 12. This number, I don't know where it'll go. It might go up. Bronzer is like the face products, blushes, bronzers, highlighters, probably one of the favorite parts of doing my makeup. So I don't know. There are several that I want to try. So I'm not gonna make any promises. There's a few powder bronzers that I can think of in my collection that I'm definitely ready to part ways with. Like, it's so incredibly hard to use up powder bronzer. Like, unless it's, unless you only have a couple in your collection and it's something you're using every day. I've panned several bronzers before. The Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer used to be the only one I used, and I've panned that probably 4 or 5 times. I've gone through a ton of those, but I don't use that anymore. I got really into cream bronzers this year, so that's kind of where my focus is right now. I don't know if that will change this year. Maybe a powder bronzer comes out that like rocks my world. I don't know, but I have 12 for now. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that number going up too. Blush. So blush, I have 20. I have 20 blushes. That is a number that I really hope does not go much higher. That's excessive. Like, that's obscene. I know it. You know it. We all know it. Okay. It's a lot, but I love blush. I love blush. I have gotten even more into it this year, so I'm okay with that. Again, I know as I declutter, there are things that I'm gonna be ready to get rid of. I'm trying to think if there's any blushes that have been on my radar to try, like anything that I'm like wanting to bring into my collection, and I can't really think of anything. I mean, I haven't tried the Milk Makeup cream bronzers or blushes. I would kind of like to do that, but I also know just from like watching other people's videos, there's so much product in those, and even if you use it like every day for a year, you might not even use it all. So I don't know if it's realistic for me right now to bring anything into my collection. So at least not until I declutter some stuff, until I run through some stuff. So I'm happy with all the blushes that I have. I'm not necessarily like pining for any new ones. I like the ones that I have, so I'm okay with that number. Highlighters, this is kind of disturbing to me. This is kind of like, ugh. I have 22 highlighters. Like, why? I love highlighter. I love highlighter. Do I need 22? I don't think so. I really don't think so. I know, so I think I've done a pretty good job, at least the last half of this year, really like shopping my stash, rotating through what I have, really getting use out of what I have. So I have a better idea in mind now as I go to declutter of what I want to get rid of. So again, I know I sound like a broken record, but I just know that there are going to be things that I'm ready to part ways with. So this number, I would imagine, will go down. Who knows? I don't know. I really love highlighter. I don't need any more. I don't need any more. I need to go through some of the stuff that I have. I really do. Okay, eyeliners. Look, we're just gonna get through this, okay? I have 38 eyeliners. 38. I know I don't need 38. I've decluttered my eyeliners twice already this year, and I still have 38, okay? It is what it is. Back up off me. Moving on. I have 6 mascaras, not all open and in use. I only have 2 or 3 that I have open and I'm trying out right now, but I have 6. I know my Milani, like the waterproof one I have, I'm gonna get rid of. I tried it on somebody's recommendation. I can't remember who, maybe Daisy Cash. I don't remember, but I just am not a fan of waterproof mascara. Like, and I knew that. I don't even know why I got that freaking mascara to try, but I have 6. I would hope this number either goes down or stays consistent. I'm okay with having multiple mascaras, like as long as they're not all open and in use at the same time. That's a little bit wasteful to me because mascara does go bad in a few months. So I have no coffee left. I don't know why I'm holding my mug. Okay, so final categories, lip products. I separated my lip products into lip liners, lipsticks, and lip glosses. Lipstick includes bullet and liquid, but I really don't have that many liquid lipsticks. I have like 4 or 5. I'm not a fan. So mostly they're bullet lipsticks. Lip liners, I have 18. Too many, and I did a massive lip product declutter a few months ago, and this is still a lot. Like, there's still a lot of residual from that. So 18 lip liners is too fucking many. It's too many. Like, I really hope to see that number go down this year. I think that by the time of my next declutter, I'll be ready to get rid of some more stuff. I have found a few brands and formulas that I really like of lip liners. And let's just be honest, okay? It takes so long to go through a lip liner, like to use up a whole entire lip liner from start to finish. Years. It's gonna take me years, so whatever. This category annoys me. Like, I want to see that lower. Lipsticks. I have 82 lipsticks. Okay, cue the laughter, cue the gasps. I have 82 lipsticks. And this is after my declutter, where I got rid of a lot. But you know what? Whatever. I love lipstick. I love lipstick. I love it. I'm okay with 82. I really am. I feel no shame about that number, and I feel no shame for whichever way that number goes this year. Let the chips fall as they may, okay? Because if Propa Beauty comes out with some other like collection of lipsticks, if they decide to do like a bunch of reds or pinks, or I mean, if they do anything, I'm getting it. So I have 82. I love that for me. And finally, lip gloss. I have 24 lip glosses. I don't feel bad about that number either. I love lip glosses. I love all of the formulas that I have are formulas that I like, that are comfortable, that I enjoy wearing. So whatever. I have 24. I wouldn't be surprised if that number is higher by the end of this year. Whatever. It's my collection. And that's it. That's all my numbers. I really don't want to put pen to paper and figure out like how much this is in total, like how many makeup products I have in my whole entire collection. So I'm not going to. I might do it just for me personally. I might write it on that paper just to keep track of, but I'm not going to do it right now. So that's it. That is my whole makeup inventory. Not done to be like boastful, like, oh, look at what I have. Not done to shame myself for anything. I'm not ashamed of what I have. It really is just an opportunity to keep myself accountable. It's a good, like I said, beginning of the year, like reset. I do plan on keeping track when I do my declutters of what I get rid of. I plan on keeping track of like all the new things that come into my possession this year. And it'll be really interesting to like take that list and see what happens in the next 12 months to, you know, do an end of the year check-in. But that's it. I don't know. Hopefully this was something you enjoyed. I've really enjoyed watching these videos. If you like beauty content in general, please consider subscribing, giving this video a like, sticking around for some more content. I would love to have you. But until next time, beauties, take care of yourselves and take care of each other.